Hi everybody, it's Galactic Man Larry here again with another video. Today is not a review, or well, maybe it will be of sorts. And today's about this little box, which means, the contents are some figures I finally found. Well, actually, my older brother found them at his place. I was looking for them in this house, but they weren't here. They were at his place because my family moved a couple of times in the past years, and this thing landed elsewhere. Let's just leave it like that. But finally and luckily, my brother found it, and yeah, he brought it to me yesterday, and I just wanted to share it with you. I already cleaned some of them. You can take a quick look, and let's take them out of the box one by one and see what we got here. You already saw it, but yeah, first of all, we had this Darth Maul figure from episode 1, and this one I didn't even buy it myself. Some friend of mine was getting rid of it back in the day, like in 2003 or something like that, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna give this away to people." I was like, yes, you can start by giving it away to me, because I collect these things, and it's one of maybe the very first Darth Maul figure ever from Hasbro or Kenner. I don't know which one was it back then, but here I have also one of the comlinks or something where you can see Darth Maul and Dark Maul. And I was like, okay, this is maybe from the hooded figure, but it's on this box, so we'll use it for this guy. These were the stands with the comlink device. I think it was called comlink, I don't know. You would bring it close and it would have some quotes, some voice taken from the film. The original actor's voice, and actually just some voice taken from the actual film, And I also have but I have his dual lightsaber, which was the sensation back in the day. And he can wield it like this to start with. You can do more with this figure, but the articulation is limited. But back in the day, he had a lot of articulation in his arms. I have some more sabers here. This guy had let's use this one. Wrists. Well, the glove. He had the bicep swivel kind of, and the shoulder swivel. So you had 3 points of articulation in each arm, which was premium for the day, This is from 1999 or something like that. Let's leave him aside. I'll just let him here. Who's next? Well, this is the one who came out next. I don't even remember. Saklukasa or something like that. I don't remember the name right now, and I won't stop to check the name. You, of course, maybe know it, so that's great. I don't know if I have his specific lightsaber here now, but we'll give him just one laying around here. We'll give him this one, even if maybe it's not his, maybe it is. We'll give it to him. If I'm right, he's able to double wield, And of course, we also have a stand for him. I think he came with one of these. These are from Revenge of the Sith, and these figures are from 2004. Hasbro China. LFL, Lucasfilm licensed or something like that. So there you have Seth Lucasa or Sat, whatever his name was. is, or so well was he. If you haven't watched the film, he doesn't survive. Anyway, who's next? This is the Darth Vader figure from the first Darth Vader figure from the Return of the Sith waves. This is from the first wave, and this is, yeah, you know who this is. If you don't, why are you watching this video? And I think, well, he came with one of these sabers. This is clearly a Darth Vader saber, and maybe it's even the one of this specific figure. And I thought back in the day, I was like, wow, he's super cool. I mean, the head was really, the detail was really good for the day, and the helmet looked shiny. I mean, well, it's still in really good condition. I think it was all dirty yesterday, but I cleaned it with an old toothbrush and water, you know. And also because of the years, I was able to separate this without breaking anything. That's the old glue. And yeah, I mean, I can glue it back again, but I like, I mean, it fits there tight enough. It won't just fall down, you know. But I was curious and I ripped it off. He also has a little gimmick. I mean, these arms, this one is just like swiveled, and he has this articulation here, and the gloves, which is very typical for many Darth Vader figures. This one is on a ball joint for the shoulder, which was already like wow back in the day, and the glove, nothing at the elbow. He has articulation at the waist, and the feet, well, the legs are just swiveled. But the cool thing is he has his cape. It's still in great shape, and he has his kind of skirt, and you could squeeze the legs, and it's, yeah, I have to fiddle with it a bit because it's an older figure and it's been just there for eternity, so it's not working. But you could do something like this, you know, by squeezing the legs, but it's not reacting. I don't know if you had to like bring it to position and then, yeah, for example, yeah. He also came with one of these, if I'm right, and that's Lord Vader from Revenge of the Sith, also 2004. The next one will be Master Windu. And this guy really had the thing, you know. You could, yeah, this one is still in shape. You could just squeeze him and bring him to his, you know, this trademark position of him for the Vapad or something, yeah. At least when he's about to fight Palpatine, or halfway fighting, dueling Palpatine. And I remember back in the day, I was like, if this guy could stand, he had him on the ground. For me, he had mastered Palpatine. If Anakin hadn't arrived, maybe that would have been it. I don't know if Palpatine was faking a bit, or if he was really like, yeah, beaten, and he just survived because Anakin saved his ass. And yeah, but for me, always, I was like, Mace Windu is like the man, you know. He was superior, so you can really do his thing. And I was always like, he has the purple saber, you know, like he's in the next level. So there you have him, one of my favorite Jedis. Mace Windu. Who is next? Let's do some villain maybe. We have here, this is clearly General Grievous from this was from a Sith 2 or 3 pack or 4 pack actually. I think it was Grievous, Palpatine, Vader and Dooku, but many of the figures were a bit outdated. This one was new for Revenge of the Sith, but the Vader and the Dooku were from the previous film, Attack of the Clones, and they weren't that great. They had the magnetic thing for the hands, and Vader had a metallic lightsaber hilt, which is great, but sadly it fell to the ground. Those were really easy to break. Once in the floor, they were broken, you know. But yeah, you could glue it or something. I don't. That saber is in Germany right now, but Grievous, if I'm right, he came, of course, with 4 lightsabers, which I hope I'm gathering correctly. Yes, I have his 4 lightsabers, and he had, of course, a green one and a blue one and another blue one and another green one, and he had something like this. I was a bit lazy, but you get the idea. Anyway, let's do it again. You could bring the arms to position. I don't know if you heard the click, but it clicks, and then you can, let's remove the cape, then you can just, oh, it's been on this very hot weather for a while, for many years, and I'm glad that he's still alive. But yeah, thing is, this part of the arm, the lower one, the ones on the back, they are always in this position. You can only swivel the forearm, and you can of course turn the whole thing around, yeah, to your liking. So it's a bit, it was a good figure. What I didn't like of this one is that the paint of the face was really like sloppy. It looked like, even like if he was melting or something, you know. He has single jointed knees, but you can also turn them there. Nothing at the feet, I think, only the glued claws there. Yeah, and the arms swivel there. Nothing at the waists, nothing at the wrists, I mean, and also nothing at the waist. But it's still a good one. He, if I'm right, he didn't came with any stand, but I had this stand for him. He doesn't even have peg holes, so that's, yeah. Let's see if I can. The cape is rubbery. There you have his logo. I still have to clean it better. And it had these 2 pegs. It has these 2 pegs that go into those little holes here on the shoulders or below the neck, you know. Then you just kind of, you could never like keep it like perfect. Well, yeah, now it's there, kind of perfectly fitting. Yeah, who is next? Let's see who. Yeah, here we have Ben Kenobi. This is from the original trilogy collection or something like that. This, if I'm right, came a bit after Revenge of the Sith or something, and this was already pointing a lot in the vintage collection direction. Not everything, because the legs are just one piece that does do nothing. But you know, this is the older Kenobi, so he wouldn't be jumping around or something. He had this rope which I just washed with him with water, and so it came a bit into a hanging position because of the weight, and this material absorbed the water and it was hanging down, and so it took a bit of form. But below the things you have his sleeves. They would swivel at the elbow. The hands would just swivel there at the wrists, and he will have ball jointed shoulders. Below here you have his robes, swivel at the waist, normal swivel, I mean old fashioned swivel for the legs, which have just go up and down, you know. This is also a soft cloth material. It was a great figure. I like this figure a lot because he has a lot of, he was one of the, I don't know if first, but back in the day it was like, wow, this guy has a lot of soft goods, you know. I really like that, even if they're not super fitting, they're a bit too spongy kind of. There's his lightsaber. I don't remember if he can, of course, double, I mean, wield it with his both hands, you know. A bit tight, and that might burn his robes, so let's leave him like that. And he stands fairly easily. Let's bring this brat out of the way and put him here with his Padawan, former Padawan. And he's also loving rival. Who is next? Here we have Master Yoda. This is one that can turn around, and this one is really still oiled, you know. You just had to, he had this very funny feet, but it was a mechanism that you just, you know. So this one is a bit fixed in position, but I still enjoy it a lot. He has this little cape which is rubber. It has this kind of mechanism to fit there in the back of Master Yoda, the almost invincible. Anyway, the other one who was able to face Palpatine and almost get him, kind of, I don't know, for me it was clearer with Windu that he had him on the ground. I was like, what? That was for me one of the best moments. And he comes with this little stand, and then you just do like the idea is also that by doing that, let's see if we can manage to, oh no, don't jump on me too early, man. The idea is that by placing him there, let's bring the camera down, and doing the here with some strength. Yeah, he did it, kind of. He did turn. Let's do that for the last time. So now I really like this little figure because he's full of action. Did you see that? He just sliced your head. Anyway, that's little Master Yoda. He can be at the front because he won't get much in the way. And let's bring things back up. Who's next? The Emperor. Whatever. Yeah, this is the only Palpatine figure I've had over the years, I think, and he's very stiff. The legs are just part of this skirt. The feet are just, I don't know if you can see, it's, yeah, that thing there, it's part of the skirt, and the feet are just, they can just swivel like this, but you know, this is a figure to have like that. He would shoot some effect, I don't know if I have with me anymore, not here at least. Maybe I have it somewhere, maybe I don't. And he came with his iconic little portable lightsaber, like he could hide it in his crotch, I don't know. Here below his sleeve, you know, like he would just do like that in that iconic scene where the Jedi come to arrest him, and oh well. doesn't go really well for them. Oh, sorry, yeah. This guy also has this removable hood. The head has a really good sculpt. He can turn around, he can swivel the back up, down and upwards. He has a lot of range without his hood. And I think even this thing is, it would be removable, but you would need to pop the arms out before, because otherwise you don't have clearance to do that. And otherwise he just has swivel at the waist. So this figure is really, yeah, but I like it, you know. It's, the sculpt is nice and everything. He's more like a presence, you know, more than a, well, he's super in those fights against Yoda, and especially against Yoda he gets really like turbocharged. Who's next? Agent Kohler, Master Kohler, yeah, and he's one of the, yeah, I think he's the first to fall in that scene. He's next to his friend Sidious, the Emperor. Funny thing is, this guy had this like rubbery robe. I mean, he comes here like that in a very fixed position, and you could actually give him, I think he came with this green saber. Yeah, for dark skinned people, I think green sabers or purple ones fit. I mean, they contrast very well with the skin tone, if I'm saying that right. Anyway, he would be like looking cool, but yeah, actually, yeah, the figure is really great. Well, maybe I'm biased, I don't know. The character didn't do much, if anything at all. But there you have him in the stand. He has the face sculpt is really good for the time, for the back in the day. The hair is a separate piece of rubbery plastic that it's glued somewhere in the head. The details on the horns, his kind of tattoos on the face, everything great. And the cool thing is, then you can remove this. Let me focus again. Let me take him off his stand. You could remove the robes without even having to take off the saber. This guy's falling down. You could also remove this, maybe. Of course you can. Let's see if I don't. Come on, man. There you have it. It is possible. I'm glad I didn't break anything. Doing this on camera wasn't the wisest, maybe. He has this soft goods below. It's still wet because I washed this, and yeah, with all this shell here, it doesn't dry easily. But yeah, he has a lot of detail with or without the robes. He has, the legs are swiveled, and he has ball joints at the knees. So you could, yeah, it was weird that a lot of figures in this line had swivel here and ball knees, you know. So it was a bit like this, you know, it was a transition. He has a swivel at the waist, he has ball jointed shoulders, He has swivel at the elbows and at the wrists. So he's, for that, back in the day he had a lot of articulation for a figure from a character who didn't do shit, you know. But still, it's a cool looking one. And you can, of course, if I'm right, let's see if I'm right, maybe I'm not. Well, they did the hands so that you can't really double wield, I think. Maybe I'm wrong, yeah, but I don't want to waste hours here. Anyway, I'll check that later. We'll leave him like this, otherwise this will take forever. This guy will go to the back because his achievements are not that great. Next one is young Anakin as a Padawan. This is from the Evolutions 3 pack, I think. The Darth Vader figure is in Germany, and this one had all of the figures in this box all dirty because he had a very nice soft cloth. It's still good, but this was covered in a leathery material that deteriorated over the decades, or the decade. I don't know, it's been almost 20. These figures are like 15 years old at least. This one is from 2005, so it's a bit after the movie, and this was already quite vintage collection oriented, maybe even better than some vintage collection figures. I mean, he has a lot of soft goods. This was all covered in a brown leathery texture, like a vinyl thing, you know. Now we only have the the cloth, in which you can see here, there it has a bit of the material. When I washed, the rest peeled off, but still it still looks cool with this semi-transparent black soft goods. This figure is really, I find it's really good achieved, let's say it like that. This is not his stand, but we'll put him there. And he came with his, well, the head is on a ball joint and he can go all around, but doesn't have much up and down, just a little wiggle, good tilt, and a little wiggly wiggly all up and down. He has ball jointed elbows and shoulders. Then you have your, and he has swivels at the wrists, yeah, and he has a swivel at the waist as well. I won't turn it around too much because of the soft goods and all of that. He has swivel at the hips and ball jointed knees, which is cool. I mean, the hips are not cool, but the knees are cool. And he came with a saber like this, I guess, or I'm almost sure, because this, at least this is his saber. I don't know if this is from this specific figure, but it's, yeah. And he could, yeah, he could. He can, you know. There you have young Anakin. Who's next? Oh, who would be more appropriate than Count Dooku? I don't know if we have a better 3.7 3 3/4 inch, a better figure for this character. This is Count Dooku from Wave 1, maybe, from Return of the Sith, which means 2004, yeah. And look at that, he has this very nice, for back in the day, very nice soft good cape. The head is on a just in a swivel. I don't know if you can just pop it off. No. Would make sense. Yeah, it has a very. The sculpt is great. I mean, for back in the day, you can see who the actor is. Yeah, there you have Sir Christopher Lee. Ball jointed shoulders, ball jointed elbows with all the thing, and swivel at the sleeves there. Well, for the hands, the same for this hand, and yeah, and you had this hand would have like he could do the lightning thing, or it was also like just like measuring the opponent. He also has swivel at the waist. He has just swivel at the hips and ball jointed knees, kind of ball joint. It's not ball jointed, it's just up and down, and you can turn. And still, I mean, well, he could use better articulation at the legs, but still, this figure is good looking. And well, I mean, for the day, I was like, wow, this was one of my favorite figures. It had, for me, it was superior to almost all the figures in the Revenge of the Sith, at least the first wave or the first two, I don't know. And he has his signature lightsaber. I mean, this guy was a great villain. When he gets defeated, I was like, okay, it's very early in the film. Would like to see an extended version of that whole battle in space and in the Malevolence or whatever the ship was. And this again is a great figure. He goes here because I don't know, Grievous and all of that. Grievous is just leaving us. Just look at how good this figure looks. It's really. Next one is this Anakin from Episode 3. You can see he has a robot hand, and you can take this one off just like this and change it for the right hand or left, whatever side you turn the figure from this Anakin. Is from the Evolutions pack as well, if I remember the name right. I was like, when I got that pack, I was like, wow, these figures are amazing. All three were great, and the Vader, all three of them were really like, whew. And I think this one was, I don't know, all three were great. The one I used the least was this one, and it was great. And this guy was amazing, and the Vader is amazing as well. All three are amazing actually, but I think maybe this was the one I had more in hand because of whatever reasons, I don't know. You can turn the head. It's on a ball thing, I think, but it's so tight. Yeah, it has not much room for movement and all of that, but the sculpt is good. I mean, I don't know if it's alike to Hayden Christensen, but yeah, you can pop it off and put it in another bodies, maybe, I don't know. You had this was not always the best, but you had this swivel for the elbows, so I mean it would give you specific positions. Yeah, then you had the ball jointed shoulders. This is very rigid, so you can move just as much as this allows. You cannot really pry it or bend it. He had movement at the waist. He had this hilt to put there, remove and all of that. You could put the blade on it, of course. And he has, let me see, just swivel at the hips, yeah. And ball jointed knees that can go a bit over 90 degrees. and can turn around and stuff. And you had swiveled feet, in both directions, but they had no like rocker. It's not a proper rocker, it's just a swivel, horizontal and vertical swivel. Anyway, and he also came with this saber, with this the same one, but this one is painted in silver instead of being just like a kind of metallic gray plastic. And you could, of course, double wield it or whatever, just be careful not to put more pressure on the articulations. Let's bring him, well, let's just keep it like this. The hood is there, or let's bring him back into his Jedi robe. And give him a stand, right? That would be good. There you have it, just some stand. It didn't came with the figures, if I remember right, but there you can have him standing next to his, let's move Yoda aside, even if it's not that great to move Yoda aside, and bring Anakin next to Dooku, because they're friends. Also Windu, because they like each other. You know what I mean. Next one is Master Teen, and this figure is so, it looks good, right? And the face is all mean and all horny. Not horny, but horny because of the horns. And he's looking like a badass, but he gets his ass kicked very quickly. I don't know if he's the first or the second to fall, but he falls, believe me. The head has a lot of attitude. He can look up that much, down that much. He has this crazy detail for his head balls. He has ball jointed shoulders and this crazy cut at the thing, at the elbows, and he has swiveled wrists. He has swiveled the waist. He has soft goods for the legs. Below he has his skinny legs, which are swiveled there, and he has ball jointed knees, but still doesn't bring that much because he only has a swivel. Maybe if you can experiment a lot, it's better to have that swivel than not having it. That's definitive. So let's bring him in kind of an action pose here with the stand. There he is running, and he'll be wielding, and he can easily wield, double wield. So there you have Master Teen looking much cooler than what he actually did. When are we gonna get a Black Series of this guy and other guys? It would be great to get the Tarkovsky. Like, we're getting this from that earlier animation, Clone Wars. It would be great to get this guy with the clone armor and the helmet, which looks amazing. That would be his coolest version, definitely. Hasbro, give us that one, please. You want to give us that one. There you have Master Teen. Who's next? Here we have Sora bulk with his stand, which even has his name. So this guy is, yeah. Anyway, he's there with his very mean face. I forgot the name of this race, Wike or something like that. Is that a race or just a specific character? The head comes comes off fairly easily. He has, as you can see, he has a very cool wash on the ropes. The head can go all the way around. Well, almost, or you can bend yeah, it can go all the way around. He has ball jointed shoulders, ball jointed elbows, and swivel at the wrists, so he can do lots of things with his arms. He has a swivel at the waist. He has, this is a weird decision, he has only a swivel at the hips, nothing elsewhere, and he has these things, these swivels at the feet, which is good to have, but I mean, well, I haven't checked if that makes a difference while posing him. Surely it gives you more options than, or I want to hope to think like that it gives you more options having that than not having it. And there you have him looking all skeptical, and I think he has business with Mace Windu. I don't know if Mace Windu beats him or gets in trouble with this guy, but there's a comic book where they mess around. Sora Bulk. Very nice name. And lastly, or last individual here is Asajj Ventress. And this is another figure I was like, yeah, it's a cool one from back in the day. She doesn't have all the articulation, but he has a good amount for that time. The head is on a ball. He's on a ball neck, because it's not a ball joint, it's just a ball stiff there, and all the movement is allowed by the clearance on this head sculpt, you know. So she can look in directions, and she has this very grim face. She has ball jointed shoulders that can go all the way around, which is good. And she has this, and that's it actually. Yeah, she doesn't have all the articulation she could have, because she only has this crazy thing at the elbows. Yeah, she has her holsters there, but I don't remember. I think she just came with I don't know if she came with something to put in there, because you have these one piece sabers, and it wouldn't make sense to have this, you know, with the blade out. But I don't remember if she came with the off ones, you know, the ones which are not on. And she has a swivel at the waist. She has this very cool skirt sculpt, but it allows for no further movement. I think she only has, let me take a look, yeah, her legs are just fixed in one position, and they are just, they only have that normal old school swivel. So she's more like standing there with the skirt, but the cool thing is to give her two sabers. And go crazy with it. Well, how crazy can you, I mean, anyway. It would be cool to have an update for her in 3.75. I don't know if there is a really good figure of her, or if this is the best figure of her so far in this scale or whatever, you know. Let's bring her in a stand. Let's see what we can do with this. You can't do much with this elbow choice. You can just do like the scissors. Let's see, we have to pull this away a bit. And there you have her, next to the rest of the people. She would be, I think, she has stuff to do with Dooku and Grievous and that gang, you know? Yeah, I hope you enjoyed like unearthing all these figures with me. For me it's a blast from the past, definitely. And also, I mean, many of these figures are still great for today, which is cool, and it's great that they are not all like sticky or something. They're really kept in good shape, so I can just, yeah, they're, for me they're actual enough to keep them on display, or to just bring them with me to Germany and have them with the rest of my figures, and they don't look particularly older or something. They're really still, do you say vigent? Yeah, updated. Some of them, kind of. Some of them are really a bit or way too outdated maybe, but most of them are really still good for today's standards. At least for me, I don't feel like, oh, this is rubbish or something. So I won't keep talking, because otherwise this will go over 40 minutes. I don't know, maybe it already is actually. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this content. I will have to find a name for videos like this, like checking things from the past. And leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe, please support my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao, ciao.